Hey there.
I love you.
I love you.
I thought we should say we love each other since we're talking about counseling.
Counseling. Oh, yes, we had our first counseling session today.
Yep, we started counseling today. Relationship counseling, marriage counseling,
Yeah, we
people counseling.
Yeah, we decided to go ahead and do this since we know there's some changes going on in our life, and one of the things that we've always tried to do is have great communication together.
Yeah.
Even if I have a muddled voice. Excuse me.
It's like you walked yourself right into that.
I sure did.
So yeah, I think we would probably say, quite fortunately, that we have a really wonderful relationship pretty generally, and communicate very well. I personally happen to have some psychology skills and use them when I need them, and we do a pretty good job, but counseling does make sense for us in a time when things are changing so much, and it's just helped us. I mean, it's already helped us learn so much about what we kind of need to do next. You had a great analogy about counseling.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of like when, you've got friends that have hired a maid and they talk about, well, I got to get ready for the maid. So somebody coming in and doing cleaning, you have to clean up the house and have it all ready so that it can get cleaned. It's kind of a weird deal, but it's really the same thing here. It's like, do we have our stuff together so that we can go have a conversation about things?
Yeah,
that's the way I looked at it.
It's a great analogy. You might use the word housekeeper instead of maid, but maybe we can talk about that in counseling.
Also, I'm old.
Maybe we can talk about that in counseling.
It's true. Very true.
So yeah, I mean, we've already kind of figured out that there's some things that are an inherent part of kind of going through illness that are things that we need to recognize and see that could potentially be potholes, and we want to be proactive and make sure that we don't step in the pothole.
I agree with that. I bet you we could find 3 things.
3 things that are pitfalls of
things that we're gonna have to look out for. Yeah, as part of this.
Well,
I'll go with the first one.
Okay.
So the first one is isolation. So
that's the one I was going to use.
Well, you can use it then.
No, go
you
ahead.
Want me to do the other one?
No, you do isolation.
Okay. So isolation, really, we have our relationships is based on communication, and this type of illness or this type of care creates a certain set of isolation. And so, I can't talk as much as I used to. I can't interact as much as I used to.
Big changes.
And so consequently, we just have to be aware that that's there. And my isolation creates isolation for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely does. So if we're not able to talk, then I feel more alone, and that's hard. I think the second one is intimacy. And that's not just physical intimacy, it's all kinds of intimacy that it's just more difficult. There's more separation. Sometimes we're not in the same physical space. Sometimes you're in a hospital bed. Sometimes we're in separate spaces when we're sleeping. You're in separate spaces where you're eating. We're not necessarily eating meals together even. And so intimacy has changed for us, and we have to be aware of how we foster intimacy so that we can make sure that we're taking care of that, so that's going to help take care of our relationship. And then that's 2 things that start with I. And if you're going to do a third thing, is there a third thing that starts with I?
How about intentional balance?
Intentional balance, what does that mean?
Well, what I really wanted to point out was that no matter how I'm feeling, there's something in our relationship that's creating a feeling on your end. Right? So if, for example, I'm tired and I need to chill, and you're annoying me because you're keeping on talking to me instead of letting me chill, you have a need too. I have a need, and that is to rest. But you also have a need, and that need would be, I need connect, or I need conversation, or something like that.
Yeah, I think anything that's happening for you is going to have an impact on me. Anything that's happening for me is going to have an impact on you.
So impact.
Impact.
That's the word.
3 eyes.
3 eyes. How do we get there?
So isolation, intimacy, impact.
Impact.
I think I would use the example of if you're in pain,
Uh-huh.
and I'm seeing you in pain, then I am not in pain. I did not have surgery. I don't have cancer. And so I'm not experiencing the same thing you are, but watching you in pain causes me worry. I feel worry and sometimes panic and sometimes sadness. And so the impact of what you're experiencing, even though we aren't experiencing the same thing, it creates an experience for both of us.
Right, and the same goes here. If I'm not being able to do things or, you know, help around the house or any of those kinds of things, that's creating an impact on you. It's creating an additional burden for you.
Right.
And so we're just being aware of those things is the important part.
Yep.
And these things aren't things that you're trying to prevent. These aren't things you're trying to solve. They're things you're trying to be aware of. And you use the word potholes. That's what we're trying to do with the counseling, is just be aware from a pothole perspective. What's on our road? We know there's stuff to do. How do we kind of go around some of those things and know that they're going to happen and go, oh, look, there's a pothole.
Yep.
Okay, great. Keep on going.
Yep.
So that's what we got today.
Isolation, intimacy, impact.
I love it. Good work.